We are saving the earthly beings today, aren't we? To
The earthly beings.
the earthly beings.
Saving the ants.
The earthly beings.
Saving the giraffes.
The earthly
Saving
beings.
the pelicans.
I was getting over my cheating ex, but now he wants me back, and I'm confused. My ex left me and our 2 kids last summer. Even though he'd been a hopeless partner throughout our 12 years together, including having several affairs, I was still devastated.
Yeah, I bet you were, because you put in so much energy and investment into him, emotional investment, to deal with all the affairs and forgive him and keep going, and then he just leaves after all of it, and with 2 kids. I mean, of course he'd be devastated.
It's taking me ages to pick myself up and get my life back on track. I'm finally doing all right, and I've started dating again, even via an app. I haven't met anyone special yet, but I'm getting out there and enjoying meeting people and going out on dates. Well, good for you. Now though, my ex has been in touch, saying he wants us to try again. He says he's realised he made a big mistake leaving me, and that he's changed and wants to prove it to us. The thing is, George and Luke, I've heard this story before. After every affair, that things just went back to where they'd always been. How can I trust that it will be different this time? Well, you can't, I don't think. We've only been in touch about childcare arrangements, and I've been clear with him I won't take him back. I want to move on positively with my life, but how can I while he's around? I worry I'll give in at some point, even though I know taking him back is a really bad idea. I'd love your advice, dear George and Luke. Thank you so much. Big kisses for you both.
Yeah, all right, so here's the thing. If you take him back, it's going to be good for these reasons.
It's going to be good.
You'll probably have a great time in the bedroom.
Yeah, you will.
Your kids are going to love him. They're going to be really, really happy.
Well, exactly.
And then he's going to go and he's going to cheat on you again.
Yeah.
So that is the negative and the positive. And the problem is it's very unlikely that you're going to get one without the other. Okay? If you think, well, that's just how he is, I'm just going to have to deal with it. And maybe you're going to be like, for the sake of the children, we'll make it work. And I'm going to carry on dating. And he's going to have to deal with that, right? Because I can't put all my eggs in one basket with him because the guy's just completely unfaithful and he keeps cheating on me. I mean, I'm not saying, it's possible that he'll go, look, I went out there, I had my fun, I saw the other horizons, I went to the other land, I realised it wasn't for me, you're the one for me. Maybe he will come back and he'll actually be faithful. But the thing is it ain't very likely, right? It's very much like a repeat offender kind of a situation. They say repeat offenders because offenders tend to repeat, and it's unlikely that he's going to change. But you could do it if you're willing to say, this is the kind of person I'm with. I'm with. Some people, some women date, rock stars, and they go into that relationship thinking, this is a famous rock star. He says he's in love with me. He's put a ring on my finger, but I know what he's like. When I don't see him, he's off with other women, and we don't talk about it, right? It's just something that he does, but I know I'm his number one. I'm his Cinderella, right? Think of it like the prince could have all the women in the land, but he chooses Cinderella. You're my princess. You're my queen. You're the only one the glass slipper fits. But I do like the look of all those other ones as well. They all want me. And sadly, in reality, sometimes the prince is like, yeah, I'm going to try to slip her on some of them other women too. But when I come home, you're the one for me. So you kind of have to make a decision. How do you feel about him dating someone else? How do you feel about him moving in with another woman and having children with another woman? Does that tear you up inside? Or do you think that it's something that you could handle? You haven't met anyone who's, swept you off your feet as of yet. And the problem is you have 2 children, so it's going to be very difficult for you to find another man who will fall in love with you and want to move in with you and put up with your ex as well.
But it is possible, George.
It's possible, but it ain't easy, right? It's a lot easier to get your ex back and go, okay, we have a family in this house, than trying to find a new man.
How hard was it for her, George, to get out of it? She's been hurt from him so many times. She struggled to get out of that relationship. the heartbreak of it, right? Now she feels like she's sort of starting to gain a bit of momentum. She's starting to date a little bit. She's starting to move on. And now he's kind of thrown this spanner in here, right?
Yeah.
That's the reality, the harsh reality of the situation. What do you want to do, my love? What do you want to do? How do you feel about it? Make a choice.
We can't ask her because she's really asking us.
No, we're giving her the information, and she's got to ask herself these questions.
Can't ask a women questions like that because women are indecisive by nature. They go, God, then you make the decision for me.
Right, get rid of him. Done.
No, don't get rid of him. Right?
Take him back, right? Take him back.
Yeah, the thing is ultimately, look at it like this. What is the most important thing in your life right now? It's your children, okay? Your children are the most important thing. Can you find a man to replace their dad who will be great at home and solve all of your problems and be great for your kids? Probably not, right? Yeah, there are men out there who'll do that, but it'll take months and months of you dating somebody before eventually he thinks, okay, I'll come into your family. And then if he does, it still might not work out. He might realize he doesn't want to play dad to your children. He might find that he doesn't want your ex breathing over his neck thinking, why are you spending time with my kids? They're my kids. I don't want you playing with my kids. And it will create all kinds of friction and all kinds of problems that you haven't experienced yet. And they're all going to happen down a very rocky road. And you'd like to have that perfect, blissful, whatever. But, you know, unfortunately, you just have to go, look, it's going to be imperfect no matter what you do. And maybe the most perfect thing is to get this guy and say, okay, I can bring him in for a while whilst the children are growing up, and I can appreciate that that's the kind of person he is, and he's likely to kind of be very difficult. But you, being that he's done all of that stuff, he's been unfaithful, it's all well known about, almost like come back into the house then, right? There's your room over there. You're not instantly going to sleep in my bed. And you have to prove to me that this is something that's actually going to work. Otherwise, me, you know, you'd be like, I'm going to carry on dating other men, and you can stay here because it's good for the children. They like having you here, but I'm going to carry on dating. And if he's like, I don't want you dating other men, then he might actually be like, okay, I'll be faithful to you, whatever. I would say the fact that you have feelings for him, it's not a bad idea to give it a try, but don't just open your legs to him. Don't just be like, okay, come back. You let your partner know that because he's ditched you, you have been dating, you've been out there playing the field and having a go, and you're not just gonna
roll over. Just
assume that he's gonna come back and be wonderful and be Prince Charming because he hasn't in the past. So he has to prove himself to you in that regard. But ultimately, a marriage, the primary thing to look at is children, and put them first in this scenario, and put yourself second to them, so you can see what might be best for them. And this, I don't know. So you ask yourself this: what is best for them? Is it best for them to have their dad in the house? Is he good for them? I mean, you know that better than we do. So whatever's best for your children, do that. And that's hard, but being a parent is hard. So if you make them the priority, then you'll at least end up doing the right thing. So there you go. That's what I got for you. But I'm sorry it's not an easy, it's a great solution, but at the end of the day, you had 2 children with him, and sometimes you have to live with your choices. And you know, if he wants to be around and be around his kids, that's something. Some men don't even want to do that. So something to be
He's
grateful
always going to
for.
be around because you've got kids together. It's just depends on you really how much you want him to be around. We've thrown out some questions back to you. You need to reflect on those questions, and then you will come to the right decision. We have every faith in you, don't we, George? We have every faith in her.
No, not at all.
Listen, problem is on its way to being solved.
Trouble for the future.
Hey, you there, I've got some really exciting special news. If you're interested in all the kind of things that we talked about in that video just there, you're gonna love this. There it is, look at that. It's written by me. It's called A Cure for Loneliness, as you can see right there. And I spent about a year of my life writing it to make sure that it would be good and fun and accurate and entertaining and all those things that make something, you know, worthwhile. And I'm extremely excited to say that people have actually responded really well, and they've been reading it all over the world. I've gotten reviews from people who say that they've read it twice. Somebody actually wrote to me recently to say that he'd read it 3 times. I was flattered if anyone had read it once, but to read it 3 times. Some excerpts of things that people have written to me about it are, it's a great and fun read, not the tedious intellectual kind. For me personally, this was a reminder that reading can be an awesome pastime. A lot of books are boring as fuck, but not this one. Thanks very much. And anyway, those are only the first responses that I got. Quite recently, somebody wrote to me from China and said that he's now in a relationship with a girl he met on a train, all he says because he read this book, and he said that it inspired him to go over to a girl that he liked on a train, yes, a public train, and start speaking to her. And now he says they are in a relationship and it is going well. So if that kind of thing interests you, or maybe you're just interested in the kind of psychology that, you know, we talk about on these videos, you're going to get a lot of it in depth, including my own experiences and how I kind of came to learn all of this stuff and reach this place myself. You're going to get all those stories within this. It's fantastic. Trust me, it's the best book you're ever going to read in your entire life. I wouldn't put a year of my life into writing something worthless, would I? So, you know, jump in, have fun. You can find it on amazon.com.co.uk, any Amazon, even the Amazon jungle. It's only about $10, I think it's $8.99, something like that, with free shipping. So crack on, have some fun, and, you know, let me know what you think. Till next time, bye.